My child, do not ignore what I am about to tell you because the heavens are moving in ways you cannot see, and tonight your name has been whispered in the courts of light. What you are sensing right now is not imagination, and it is not emotional impulse. It is recognition. Something ancient has begun to surface, something that has been forming quietly while you were busy surviving, healing, and learning how to carry your own weight. Beloved, God is aligning you with a younger partner, and the reason will touch your soul so deeply it will bring tears to your eyes. This alignment is not ordinary, and it is not driven by surface understanding. Time did not bring this together by accident. Purpose did. What is unfolding now was written long before you understood why certain connections could not stay, and why others never fully reached your heart. Archangel Michael says he has been ordered to protect this alignment. Not because it is fragile, but because it is valuable. There are connections that carry assignment, and when they appear, resistance often follows. What is being protected is not simply a relationship, but the awakening that comes with it. My child, hear me carefully. You are not meant to stumble upon this awareness randomly. There is a reason this understanding is reaching you now, at a moment when your discernment is sharper and your spirit steadier. Timing matters, and readiness matters even more. What is forming is not about age, it is about balance. This younger partner carries a quality you have been missing, not because you were lacking, but because life required you to become strong before you could receive lightness again. Where you learned endurance, they carry renewal. Where you learned patience, they bring motion. Together, the exchange restores what pressure tried to bury. Archangel Michael says, the whispers of jealousy and doubt are already circling around you. Not everyone will understand this alignment, and they do not need to. Some people only see through the lens of habit and expectation. But heaven does not consult opinion when it assigns purpose. This connection carries innocence without naivety and fire without chaos. It will awaken joy you thought had matured into memory. Dreams you assumed were finished will quietly return, not demanding attention, but inviting belief. Stay attentive in the days ahead. Confirmation often comes gently. A conversation that lingers. A message that arrives unexpectedly. A moment that feels small but settles deeply. These are not coincidences, they are alignment revealing itself. Imagine being handed a key that does not unlock one door, but an entire corridor. That is what this partnership represents. Not dependency, not rescue, but access. Emotional clarity begins to form. Confidence steadies. Vision sharpens. Archangel Michael stands guard because distraction will try to redirect you. Familiar patterns may call you back. Old wounds may speak louder than wisdom for a moment. But God says, do not look back, for what is ahead is worth more than every pain behind you. You are stepping into a chapter where love does more than comfort. It strengthens. It expands. It overflows into purpose. This alignment does not shrink your world, it widens it. Beloved, take a breath and let this truth settle. You may feel tired from past disappointments. You may wonder if you have the energy to begin again. Heaven answers clearly, timing is not late, it is precise. Archangel Michael says, child, your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven and your alignment has been approved. Approval does not depend on human agreement. What is prepared cannot be undone by interference. This younger partner is not entering your life randomly. They are stepping into responsibility, not fantasy. Their presence is tied to growth, not escape. To restoration, not distraction. If this message resonates, stay open. Clarity builds through continued awareness. What unfolds next will not confuse you, it will confirm you. God does not align souls by surface measurement. Heaven looks at design, at endurance, at readiness. This connection reflects back the part of you that survived pressure and still remained open. Archangel Michael says, "This is not romance alone. This is restoration." When it unfolds, you will recognize it by the peace that accompanies it. No striving. No forcing. Just alignment. What is coming will not need defense or explanation. You will know it by the way it strengthens you quietly, consistently, and deeply. And when understanding settles fully, you will realize this truth: nothing was wasted, nothing was delayed, and nothing arrived out of order. This alignment is not a dream, it is already moving toward reality. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. What is unfolding now is not just about love finding you, it is about life returning to places that went quiet. God is not only aligning hearts, He is restoring laughter, easing wounds, and returning joy that slipped away during nights when you carried everything alone. Others saw your composure, but heaven saw the tears you wiped away in silence. There were storms you survived that never made it into conversation. You learned how to be strong because you had to, not because it was easy. You learned how to smile while holding weight no one else noticed. God saw the fractures beneath the armor, and that is exactly where this alignment is meant to reach. This younger partner is not arriving to distract you, but to heal you. Their innocence will soften places that grew guarded. Their courage will remind you of parts of yourself you set aside to survive. Their devotion will prove that love can still be clean, steady, and safe. This is why running from what approaches would only delay restoration. Archangel Michael says, if you embrace it, this union will not just change your days, it will change your legacy. Some connections shift moments, others redirect generations. What is being formed now carries impact beyond what you can currently see. Here is the balance heaven always brings. Where you carry wisdom earned through scars, they carry passion untouched by weariness. Where pain trained you carefully, faith moves through them freely. Together, the pace of your life changes. What once felt slow suddenly accelerates, and those who predicted your ending will not recognize your beginning. Do not be surprised when resistance shows up as jealousy. Unexpected blessing often exposes insecurity in others. But Archangel Michael stands watch. What is sealed in light cannot be undone by shadow. What is protected does not require defense. If you have questioned your worth, hear this clearly. God does not measure value by perfection. He measures it by endurance, by faithfulness, by the willingness to keep your heart open even after disappointment. You stayed when it would have been easier to close off. You prayed even when answers felt distant. Heaven did not forget that. You are not late, not broken, and not overlooked. This alignment is evidence that nothing you carried was wasted. Even the prayers whispered quietly when you felt unseen were recorded. This partner is not coincidence, they are response. You may not recognize them immediately by logic, but your spirit will know. Recognition often arrives as peace, not excitement. As familiarity, not confusion. As a sense of home rather than urgency. Archangel Michael says there will be confirmations before full arrival. Pay attention gently. Repetition that feels intentional. Dreams that linger longer than usual. Conversations that echo prayers you never shared aloud. These are not meant to overwhelm you, only to reassure you. Do not let fear rewrite what alignment is forming. Doubt often speaks loudest when blessing draws near. The enemy challenges what he cannot redirect. Standing steady now matters more than analyzing every detail. Imagine the quiet miracle of loneliness lifting without announcement. Conversations that feel natural instead of forced. Presence that brings rest instead of tension. Respect woven into tenderness. This is not fantasy, it is restoration taking shape. This connection is not defined by age, but by timing. Freshness meets maturity. Perspective meets experience. Strength meets renewal. What they bring does not diminish you, it strengthens you. They are not arriving to take from your life. They come to add clarity, stability, and shared vision. Not to replace what was lost, but to redeem it. Divine alignment rarely arrives the way we imagine. Heaven prefers surprise to prove that outcomes are not self-made. While your days move forward normally, orchestration is already active behind the scenes. You are walking through ordinary hours while extraordinary preparation unfolds quietly. When paths cross fully, you will understand why patience mattered and why nothing earlier could have held what arrives now. Stay open without forcing expectation. Alignment recognizes openness, not pressure. Trust grows best where there is space to breathe. What is forming does not rush you, and it does not confuse you. It steadies you. And that steadiness is the sign. As this continues to unfold, remember this truth. You were never waiting alone. You were being prepared carefully for something that required both strength and softness to receive. And when recognition finally settles, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel right. Even while your attention is tied up in ordinary routines, something extraordinary is being arranged. Heaven is active behind the scenes, guiding conversations, adjusting timing, softening hearts, and placing paths closer together without noise or force. It is like an unseen hand tracing lines across a map, patiently leading two journeys toward the same meeting point. And when that moment comes, you will finally understand that nothing you endured was wasted. Every delay you questioned was actually alignment at work. Every closed door, every heartbreak, every pause that confused you was shaping capacity. God does not discard pain, He redeems it. Even the tears you shed in silence were counted, and they became part of the preparation for what is now unfolding. You may still wonder why this partner is younger, and Heaven answers with wisdom rather than explanation. Fresh water is meant to meet deep roots. You carry depth forged through endurance. They bring lightness untouched by the same weight. Where you move carefully, they move freely. Where you pause, they leap. And that leap will remind you that faith is not something you lost, only something waiting to be stirred again. This partnership restores balance where time tried to tilt the scales. It proves that blessings are not measured by age, but by readiness. Seasons of the soul matter more than years on paper. God aligns purpose with purpose, not surface with surface. Archangel Michael says this alignment has already been sealed. What is sealed does not unravel under opinion or pressure. Think back to the nights when you almost surrendered hope, when you whispered that it might be too late or that you were not meant to receive love in this way. Yet something inside you always urged you to wait a little longer. That voice was not imagination, it was assurance. You did not wait without reason. Belief was quietly strengthening you for something that could not arrive earlier without breaking you. When this alignment steps fully into view, you will understand why timing mattered so much. Disappointment will become context, and rejection will reveal itself as redirection. Archangel Michael says recognition will come from within before it comes from understanding. You will know this person not by appearance alone, but by the way your spirit settles when they are near. Conversation will feel natural, not forced. Silence will feel safe. Their presence will restore energy instead of draining it. Peace is how heaven confirms alignment. This connection will feel like both remembrance and beginning. As if something lost has returned, yet something entirely new has started. That is the beauty of divine timing, it carries memory and promise at the same time. What is being aligned is larger than a single story. It reaches beyond you into generations. This union carries restoration for patterns that once broke families apart. Blessings that stalled will begin to move again. Prayers spoken long before you were born will find answers through your obedience. You are not just stepping into love, you are stepping into legacy. Others may not understand at first, but heaven never limits purpose to approval. What is being built will stand long after doubt fades. Picture standing in a room where the light keeps growing brighter. At first it feels overwhelming, but then your eyes adjust, and you realize the light is not harsh, it is healing. That is how this alignment will feel. Surprising at first, then unmistakably life-giving. Archangel Michael remains on guard, not only protecting you, but protecting the purity of what is forming. Whispers may rise. Jealousy may surface. But nothing sealed in light can be corrupted by shadow. Every attempt to interfere is cut short before it takes shape. Now is the moment to lift expectation. Not later, not after proof appears. Expectation prepares the heart to receive. When expectation rises, clarity sharpens. When clarity sharpens, alignment accelerates. Archangel Michael says, do not shrink what heaven has promised to fit human opinion. What is coming is larger than doubt, stronger than fear, and brighter than the past you survived. Believe with courage, and you will recognize it when it arrives. This message is reaching you because awareness is opening. You are not hearing it randomly, and you are not meant to dismiss it casually. Alignment is already in motion, and transformation has begun. God is aligning you with a younger partner, and the reason will not only touch you, it will change how you see everything that came before. The timing is closer than it appears, and heaven is already speaking loudly over your life even if the world has not noticed yet. What has been spoken is already settled, not as wishful thinking, but as decision. When heaven declares completion, it is not repeating itself for drama, it is establishing certainty. This is why your spirit feels stirred instead of confused. Something has crossed from preparation into motion, and awareness is catching up with what has already been agreed upon above. Understand this deeply so peace can anchor you. Divine alignment is never rushed and never careless. Every step that led here was measured. Every delay served a purpose. Every door that closed did so to protect timing, not to punish hope. The younger partner being aligned with you could not arrive until growth made room, and readiness replaced longing. If you sense movement within yourself right now, that is not imagination. That subtle stirring, that quiet anticipation, that feeling of something about to shift, this is recognition. Even now, unseen coordination is taking place, arranging encounters and softening transitions so that what meets you arrives with clarity rather than chaos. Do not let external questions become internal doubt. Some will try to analyze what heaven has already confirmed. They will ask why, when, and how. But earthly reasoning cannot decode spiritual design. Age measures years, heaven measures alignment. What is being joined is spirit to spirit, not surface to surface. This union carries acceleration, not pressure. Archangel Michael says what once felt slow will begin to move naturally. Lost time is not recovered through speed, but through alignment. When paths finally line up, progress no longer strains, it flows. For a long time, you worried your sacrifices would lead nowhere. That endurance would not bear fruit. That the nights you cried quietly would fade without answer. But nothing was missed. Every prayer was heard. Every tear was acknowledged. This alignment is not the whole answer, but it is a meaningful part of it. With this connection, hope begins to rise again without effort. Laughter returns gradually. Looking forward becomes natural. Life feels shared instead of carried alone. This person does not replace your strength, they complement it. Do not expect this blessing to arrive without resistance. Anything significant attracts attention. Jealousy may surface. Opinions may grow loud. Misunderstanding may attempt to distract. But what is guarded does not collapse under scrutiny. Archangel Michael stands watch, and protection does not sleep. Human voices cannot override divine agreement. What heaven aligns does not require public approval. Walk forward without defensiveness. Confidence rooted in peace speaks louder than argument. Picture the first moment of genuine connection. Time feels softer. Conversation flows without effort. Silence feels safe instead of awkward. Something inside you settles, as if a missing piece quietly returns. That calm recognition is how heaven confirms what the mind may still be processing. This is not coincidence, it is covenant. Not dramatic, not forced, but deeply right. When that realization lands, past heartbreak loses its power. You finally see why strength was required before sweetness could arrive. Remain aware as the moment approaches. Distraction often attempts one last pull backward. Familiar patterns may resurface. Old temptations may reappear. Comfort zones may call you to stay put. These are not signs to stop, but signs you are close. Do not reopen doors that heaven has already closed. What you keep revisiting delays what is ready to enter. The new requires space. Alignment requires release. Lift expectation without urgency. Expectation prepares the heart without pressuring the moment. Trust sharpens perception. When perception is clear, recognition comes easily. Imagine waking up without the weight of loneliness pressing first. Days feel lighter because partnership brings balance, not burden. Presence replaces effort. Peace replaces vigilance. This is not fantasy, it is formation nearing completion. You are standing at a threshold even if your surroundings look unchanged. Shifts often happen internally before they become visible. Your spirit senses what your eyes have not yet seen. Do not dismiss that awareness. It is confirmation, not coincidence. What has been prepared will arrive with clarity. Not rushed, not confusing, not chaotic. When it does, you will recognize that everything before this moment was building toward it. And as alignment completes its work, one truth will settle firmly within you: nothing was delayed without reason, nothing was lost without purpose, and what is now approaching was always meant to meet you exactly here. What is being spoken to you now is not meant to rush you, but to steady you. This word is not entertainment and it is not noise. It is preparation taking its final shape. Heaven does not repeat itself without intention, and the reason this message keeps circling your spirit is because something is aligning that requires your awareness, not your fear. Hear this clearly so peace can replace pressure. God is aligning you with a younger partner, and this alignment is not shallow or impulsive. It carries healing in its design. What comes with them is not just affection, but restoration to places in you that grew tired from carrying life alone. This is not about romance alone, it is about renewal. Every season you walked through was shaping capacity. The heavy chapters, the betrayals that left you questioning, the long stretches of silence that felt unbearable, all of it was forming strength that could hold what is now approaching. God did not abandon you in those seasons. He preserved you. The waiting was never punishment. It was protection. If this connection had arrived earlier, it would have met you while you were still bleeding instead of healing. Heaven waited until your spirit was strong enough to receive without losing yourself. You were forged through endurance, not comfort. You learned how to survive storms alone, how to keep moving when support fell away, how to remain kind when life hardened others. But God never intended for you to remain isolated forever. Companionship was always part of the plan. This younger partner is not coming to take from you. They are coming to add to you. Their youth is not immaturity, it is freshness. It is joy that has not been weighed down by the same battles. Where you carry wisdom earned through pain, they carry lightness that restores. Together, balance is restored. Where you grew cautious, they bring courage. Where you learned restraint, they bring spontaneity. Where you became careful, they remind you how to leap again. This is how heaven heals without erasing the past. Do not let the opinions of others shake what heaven has straightened. Some will not understand this alignment because they measure life by appearance and age instead of purpose. But heaven measures seasons, not years. And this season belongs to you. Archangel Michael warns that voices may rise. Whispers, judgments, assumptions. But those voices carry no authority. They speak from limitation, not insight. What is aligned in the spirit does not need validation from the world. This connection is meant to bring you honor, not shame. Their loyalty will quiet doubters. Their consistency will dismantle suspicion. Their presence will testify that God still writes beautiful stories in unexpected ways. There is also expansion tied to this partnership. When aligned souls walk together, momentum follows. Ideas begin to flow. Energy returns. Clarity sharpens. Areas of life that felt blocked begin to open without force. This is why resistance tried so hard to convince you to settle. To accept less. To believe it was too late. To close your heart prematurely. But heaven answers firmly. Timing is not late, it is precise. Imagine being seen without needing to explain yourself. Seen beyond roles, beyond scars, beyond survival mode. This person will recognize the depth you carry and honor it, not fear it. With them, you will not need to perform or protect constantly. Rest will return to you in their presence. A deep, honest rest. The kind that allows breath to come back fully. The kind that reminds you what peace feels like. That rest is not weakness, it is healing. For years, you were strong for everyone else. With this alignment, you will finally be supported without guilt. You will not just give, you will receive. And receiving will feel unfamiliar at first, but necessary. You will feel healed, not rescued. Strengthened, not overshadowed. This is partnership, not dependence. Watch gently for confirmation. Not obsessively, not anxiously. Dreams that echo truth. Conversations that align unexpectedly. Repetition that reassures rather than pressures. These are markers, not demands. Do not rush the moment, and do not doubt it. Alignment recognizes openness, not urgency. What is meant for you will arrive with clarity, not confusion. This is the deeper truth you are being invited to understand. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared carefully for something that required both strength and softness to hold. As this alignment continues to take shape, one thing will become unmistakable. What once felt like loss will reveal itself as preparation, and what once felt delayed will arrive with perfect timing. Stay open, stay steady, and stay grounded. What is approaching does not need chasing. It needs recognition. And when it finally stands fully in front of you, your spirit will know before your mind catches up. That knowing will feel like home. That quiet nudge you feel is not random, and it is not imagination. It is awareness awakening. Heaven often speaks in gentle signals before it speaks in outcomes. Those moments when your thoughts linger, when your heart feels suddenly attentive, when something inside you says, "Pay attention," those are markers. Not coincidences, but direction. Every detail has been arranged with intention. Nothing in this process has been left loose or accidental. Each sign is like a breadcrumb placed carefully, leading you closer without overwhelming you. And when the moment of recognition finally arrives, you will not question it. Peace will settle over you with certainty, and your spirit will respond before your mind even catches up. Lift your head now and release the lies you have carried. Age is not a boundary. Your past is not a prison. Your scars are not disqualifiers. Heaven chose you with full knowledge of your story, not in spite of it. The weight you carried gave your life depth, and depth is what allows joy to return without fear. This younger partner is not approaching you with pity or curiosity. They are coming with respect, with intention, with readiness to walk alongside you, not behind you or ahead of you. You are not being rescued, you are being met. You will not walk alone in this next chapter. Loneliness will loosen its grip. Questions about whether love passed you by will fade. Heaven has stamped one word over your journey: redeemed. What felt delayed was preserved. What felt lost was protected. Let this truth anchor you now. Heaven does not bring alignment without preparation. The years you thought were empty were actually formative. You are being refined quietly, shaped through endurance, tested not to weaken you but to stabilize you. Only strong vessels are trusted with rare oil. What is being poured into your life now is not ordinary. It carries overflow. It carries reach. It carries influence that will extend beyond you into others who have stopped believing in restoration. This alignment is not just companionship, it is restoration in motion. Laughter that once disappeared will return without effort. The light in your eyes that dimmed through disappointment will brighten naturally. Peace will re-enter spaces that felt restless for too long. When heaven aligns two souls, it does not require force. There is no chasing, no manipulation, no proving. The connection flows because it is sustained by peace. And peace is always heaven's signature. Where peace settles, confusion loses authority. Do not underestimate peace. It heals what noise could never fix. It steadies what striving exhausted. This partnership will bring peace so clean it will feel like healing washing through old wounds without reopening them. Some will struggle to understand this alignment. They will try to reduce it to logic or explain it away with reason. But miracles have never made sense to those who only trust calculation. Alignment reveals itself fully only when you are standing inside it. What is unfolding is not meant to be proven, only lived. When you are in the center of it, joy will speak louder than explanation ever could. There is a fire of youth that this partner carries, and it is not recklessness. It is renewal. Their energy will stir dreams you stopped revisiting. Their courage will challenge hesitation gently, not forcefully. Their laughter will remind you that life is not only about endurance, but about delight. At the same time, your wisdom will anchor them. Your experience will steady them. Your prayers will cover them. This is not imbalance, it is harmony. Heaven is pairing strength with freshness, depth with light, maturity with joy. You are not being pulled backward or dragged forward. You are being met exactly where you are, ready to move together. As this alignment continues to draw near, let your heart stay open without rushing. Recognition does not demand urgency. It asks for awareness. What is meant for you will arrive without confusion and without fear. Remember this as everything settles into place. You were never behind. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared for something that required both resilience and softness to receive. And when the moment fully arrives, one thing will be unmistakable. What once felt like waiting will feel like wisdom, what once felt like loss will feel like preparation, and what once felt impossible will feel inevitable. Stay steady. Stay open. Stay grounded. The alignment you sensed is no longer distant. It is approaching with clarity, purpose, and peace. What is forming is not meant to pull you backward, but to lift you forward. This alignment is not about someone holding you up because you are weak, but about two strengths working together in harmony. Where you steady their steps, they lift your vision. Alone, movement was possible, but together, momentum becomes flight. Do not be surprised if resistance tries one last time to speak loudly. The enemy always questions what he cannot stop. He will label this alignment as unusual, unexpected, or risky, not because it is wrong, but because it is powerful. Archangel Michael says the cords of deception have already been cut. Walk forward without glancing behind you. Opposition intensifies only when breakthrough is close. If pressure rises, let it confirm proximity, not danger. What feels intense is often what is about to give way. Stand firm, not anxious. What unfolds next will reveal deliverance so clear it leaves no room for doubt. Now picture this future gently, without forcing it. You wake one day and notice the heaviness is gone. The silence that once echoed through your nights has softened into laughter. The presence beside you feels warm, steady, and life-giving. In that moment, you realize nothing you endured was wasted. Every tear became a seed. This joy is the harvest. You will whisper gratitude, and peace will answer back. Not loudly, not dramatically, but with certainty. You will understand then that the waiting was not empty time. It was preparation in disguise. Watch carefully as signs begin to appear more clearly. Not to obsess over them, but to acknowledge them. Dreams that linger. Numbers that repeat. Conversations that echo prayers you never spoke aloud. These are not meant to confuse you. They are lanterns, quietly lighting the path. Respond with openness, not fear. Heaven does not force outcomes, it invites agreement. When you agree, movement follows naturally. Faith does not rush, it recognizes. Remember, the enemy's strategy is always distraction. Unfocused minds miss aligned moments. But clarity grows where attention remains steady. Staying present is not effort, it is wisdom. What is being aligned will not only change how you love, but how you live. Disappointment gives way to delight. Loneliness gives way to partnership. Waiting gives way to fulfillment. You are not stepping into something fragile, you are stepping into something established. This is not the end of your story, it is the opening of its most vibrant chapter. What rises from the ashes is not fragile hope, but grounded joy. What steps out of shadow is not fear, but covenant. Now go deeper with this understanding. What is approaching is not just a relationship, it is assignment. There are battles you have carried alone for too long. Heaven never intended you to fight indefinitely without support. Think of the moment when strength grows weary and hands begin to lower. Victory does not fail because strength ends, but because support is missing. That is why heaven sends reinforcement at the right time. This younger partner is not coming to compete with you, but to reinforce you. When doubt presses in, they will speak belief. When fatigue creeps close, they will remind you of purpose. When silence feels heavy, their presence will feel like breath returning. Do not mistake youth for lack of depth. Heaven has been shaping them quietly, away from attention, refining character beneath the surface. Their faith carries steadiness. Their joy carries resilience. Their courage carries direction. At the same time, your wisdom becomes their anchor. Your scars become their lessons. Your prayers become their covering. This is not rescue, it is partnership. Together, you form balance that cannot be manufactured. Roots and wings. Stability and motion. Experience and renewal. Neither overshadows the other. Both are necessary. You may ask why now, and heaven answers simply because you endured. You did not close your heart when it would have been easier. You did not walk away when silence stretched long. You held on without knowing how the story would resolve. Endurance prepared you for harmony. What is coming requires both strength and softness. You carry both now. As this alignment completes its approach, trust what feels peaceful rather than what sounds convincing. Heaven confirms through peace, not pressure. And when everything finally settles into place, this truth will stand clear and steady: you were not overlooked, you were being readied, you were not delayed, you were being protected, and what now arrives does so with intention, balance, and grace. The path ahead is not uncertain. It is unfolding exactly as designed. What you held onto by the smallest thread was never weakness, it was faith in its purest form. Heaven says that thread is now being woven into something whole, something strong, something beautiful. The years you thought slipped away are not lost, they are being redeemed in a single season where laughter returns and joy feels natural again. This alignment is not a reward by human measure, it is mercy by heaven's design. Understand this clearly so your heart can rest. What is coming is not just romance, it is resurrection. Hope rising where it once felt buried. Joy breathing again where silence lived too long. Faith waking up to miracles you assumed belonged only to the past. This is life returning to places that learned how to survive without it. Picture the first moment your eyes truly meet theirs. There will be no need to perform, no pressure to impress, no words rehearsed in advance. Peace will speak first. It will feel as though you stepped into sacred ground, a space set apart where time slows and eternity leans close. In that instant, waiting will make sense. Every heartbreak will lose its voice in that moment. The long nights, the unanswered questions, the loneliness you carried quietly will fall silent as confirmation settles in your spirit. You will know without effort that this alignment was prepared with intention, not haste. Do not be unsettled when attention follows blessing. Jealousy may rise, opinions may form, whispers may circulate. But Archangel Michael says none of those voices carry authority. What heaven protects cannot be dismantled by human words. The covering over this alignment is firm, not fragile. Walk forward with confidence rooted in peace, not pride. This connection is not temporary or uncertain. It was written long before you learned how to endure. What is established in eternity does not shake under scrutiny. Watch how momentum begins to shift once you receive this with openness. Doors that resisted you begin to open. Strength that felt drained quietly returns. Creativity awakens. Vision sharpens. This is what alignment does. It accelerates what effort alone could only inch forward. Alone, progress required constant strength. Together, movement becomes natural. What once took years begins to unfold in months. Resistance may notice, but it cannot stop what has been released with purpose. Now is the time to prepare your inner space. Do not wait for arrival to make room. Release what no longer belongs. Old disappointments, unresolved resentment, habits tied to survival rather than growth. This season cannot carry yesterday's weight. Forgiveness here is not loss, it is clearance. Letting go does not diminish you, it positions you. What is being brought to you outweighs what you are asked to release. Keep your focus forward. Looking back delays what is ready to move. What lies ahead carries more life than what you leave behind. Remain attentive to confirmation, not consumed by it. Repeating signs, familiar themes, moments that echo truth. These are guidance, not pressure. When they appear, receive them calmly. Agreement invites flow. Heaven responds to openness, not anxiety. When you say yes with peace, movement follows naturally. This moment is reaching you because awareness is opening. Not everyone hears it. Not everyone recognizes it. But you are here because readiness has been formed. Do not dismiss what is stirring now. It is not coincidence. It is alignment drawing near. Stay awake, stay grounded, and stay open. What is unfolding does not need chasing. It needs recognition. And as everything comes together, this truth will settle firmly within you. Nothing you endured was wasted, nothing you carried was unseen, and what now approaches arrives not to test you, but to restore you. This is not the end of your waiting. It is the beginning of fulfillment taking shape.